What's up everybody, Sketchy here, and welcome to the 1000 subscribers Q&A. I got quite a few questions across both YouTube and Tumblr, and since Tumblr has the least amount of questions, I'm just gonna get those questions out of the way first. So, McFreed asks, what type of games do you like? Well, my favorite genre is fighting, and I've been really getting into fighting games a lot lately with Mortal Kombat X and Killer Instinct and the new Blaze Blue coming out. And I also enjoy adventures, some JRPGs, and platformers. Aquaburst07 asks, what are your thoughts on the Yu-Gi-Oh series? Well, I got into the series around the tail end of Duel Monsters, and I've seen all five. I like all five. I know a lot of people didn't like Zexal, and I'll admit that the series does have its problems, but it definitely picks up in the second season, and I think it's a worthwhile series. My favorite is GX, but I'm really liking Arc 5 right now, and if they continue doing what they're doing, it might beat GX for my favorite series. Now, as for the Abridged series, I haven't seen too much of it. I've seen like the first 15 episodes, I think, so I've got some catching up to do. Next question is from Nathan the Melody, and the question is, are you going to read the paper book since you are reading the comics? These are books like the Daring Do collection and all like those books written by G.M. Barrow. And honestly, probably not because for me personally, reading a novel and stuff like that, it requires a lot more effort on my part than a comic book would. So unless a story really captures my interest, like The Journal of the Two Sisters, probably not going to read them anytime soon. The Almighty Pink One asks, do you have a favorite comic book universe like DC, Marvel, or Dark Horse? Uh, I don't really favor one universe in general. There are just little bits and pieces of each universe that I enjoy. For example, from Marvel, I enjoy Spider-Man, and from DC, I enjoy Static Shock. Now let's get to the YouTube comments. This is where most of the questions came from. Blue Rave asks, who is your favorite Brony animator? Well, out of the few animations that I've seen, as of right now, my favorite Brony animator would have to be Warp Out, just because of the brilliant job that was done with Lullaby for a Princess. The fluidity of the animation, the type of style that was used, it was just gorgeous, and it was a style that I really haven't seen in a long time. Ranker Palmak asks, do you use Google Plus often? Honestly, no, it's just a social media site that I just really don't care to use. And it kind of sucks because like people are adding me to their circles and I'm like, I don't know what you're going to get out of this relationship because I don't use Google Plus. So as far as this channel is concerned, the only other website that I use social media wise is Tumblr. Sasami-chan asks, as a changeling, what pony do you most want to turn into and what will you do as that pony? Honestly, whoever's banging Princess Luna right now. And as for what I do, well, you know. Unova Brony asks, what mythological creature slash heroic figure slash villain would your persona be and what element would it exhibit? Well, I'm not really sure about elements since I'm not really that familiar with the game mechanics of Persona. I'm only familiar with the animation. So as for what mythological creature, it would be probably a kitsune just because I really like how they look. Minion of the East asks, who is your second least favorite of the main six? Well, when you take Pinky out of the picture, I pretty much like all of the main six. So by default, just because I like the rest of them more, Rainbow Dash. The Autistic Pony asks, what were your most anticipated comics that met your expectations, exceeded your expectations, and disappointed you? Okay, well, for meeting my expectations, the Nay Anything arc. For exceeding my expectations, Reflections. That arc was amazing. And disappointed me? Definitely The Good, the Bad, and the Ponies. That was a major disappointment. I mean, like, there were issues that were worse, but this was the biggest disappointment. Rosie Severs asks, what MLP comics are you most looking forward to? Definitely Siege of the Crystal Empire. I already gushed about that enough in the last episode of Sketchy Unscripted, but I'm really looking forward to what this comic has to offer. It's going to be a great way to end 2015 if it ends up being a success, especially since the main series definitely needs something to get it back onto its feet. Graham asks, do you have any more collab videos planned for the near future? Funny story about this question. The day I got it, the answer was going to be no. But then the day after, Like early in the morning, I got a request to appear on the MBS show with Norman Sanzo. So now I do have a collab plan for the future. I'll be posting an announcement video whenever it gets up because I'm not sure if it's going to be posted the same day we record it. So I'm not going to be announcing any release date since I have no idea when it's coming out. Ed Ulysses and Zombie Killer ask, who is your favorite princess? Luna. No questions asked. Hands down. Period. Point blank. The other princesses come close, especially Celestia, but I gotta give it to Lulu. Citizen X asks, do you read any comics that aren't MLP? If so, what titles? Right now, I'm really into the Avatar comics, The Promise, The Search, and The Rift. These are really great books that expand on the Avatar universe and show how the world builds after Fire Lord Ozai's defeat. And it also ties up some loose ends, like The Search reveals what happens to Zuko's mother, The Rift reveals how Toph reunited with her parents. So I think if you're an Avatar fan, I cannot recommend these books highly enough. There's even an arc about a faction of Fire Nation people who are still loyal to Ozai and want to overthrow Zuko, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Caleb Spitz asks, who is your favorite music artist or music genre? Well, I don't really have a particular favorite. I usually listen to whatever sounds good. If it sounds good, if I can jam out to it, I'll listen to it, regardless of what genre it is. Nai Tai Dai asks, do you fear a certain fawn-colored alicorn? Psst, no? Let me set this straight, okay? I fear no alicorns. I wish an alicorn would try and step to me. I will love you. The Amazing Ham asks, have you seen the Mega Evolution specials for the Pokemon anime? If so, what are your thoughts on them? I saw the first one, but I haven't seen the rest. I think there's like three out right now, but I really did like what I saw. I mean, this is a major improvement over where the Pokemon anime is at right now. Like, at this point, I only watch it if something important happens, like a gym battle or something. So it was definitely a nice change of pace, and I'm hoping to see more animation like it. Still holding out for a Pokemon Origins Gold and Silver version. It'd be nice to have an Origin special for every generation. Mayborn Flower asks, since you never reviewed the Micro series, what are your two favorite and two least favorite of the 10 issues? Reasons optional. Well, in my top 5 Micro issues video, I said that Luna was my favorite and Rarity was my second favorite, and that's still true today. As for my two least favorite, probably the Spike Micro, nothing against Spike, but that, like, I don't remember anything about that issue because it was just so, like, it wasn't memorable. And the worst one for me was the Twilight Sparkle issue because it was memorable, but for all the wrong reasons. Like, the art was bad, the writing was bad, just, like, everything about that issue was just terrible. Just no. Just no. Ewan Wallace asks, where were you during the event of the Changeling invasion of Canterlot? I was living on my own, so probably at my house, sleeping. Psycho Panda asks, how do you feel about Skittles? Haven't had them, don't plan on having them in the future, so no opinion. Alexis Koenig asks, do you think there are more changeling hives than chrysalises? Probably. It's definitely possible that a faction of changelings just went off on their own and started their own hive. It's definitely an interesting idea to explore, so hopefully they explore that in some way, shape, or form. Tyler Sackett asks, who would win in a fight, Scorpion or Ghost Rider? Probably Scorpion, says he actually has experience in fighting and he has, like, especially in Mortal Kombat X, his abilities that have been shown as of that game are definitely something that Ghost Rider needs to watch out for. Then again, I'm not a big Ghost Rider fan, so there's probably something up his sleeve that I have no idea that he has. Iris Prism asks, when did you start doing art? Oh, good God, when did I start doing art? I think I was about 7 or 8 years old when I started doing drawing as a hobby, and then I started doing comics around 10 or 11 years old. And then once I reached high school, I thought that this was really something that I wanted to turn into an actual career. Zane Schubert asks, do you ship any ponies? No, I don't, nah, shipping ain't my thing. I don't, no. The MLP connoisseur and Fireworks is a cult ask, why are you so sketchy? because sketchy is a side effect of awesome. 280 Sanja asks, do you have a limit to what you can shapeshift into? Yeah, changelings cannot shapeshift into inanimate objects, and for me personally, animals are kind of hard. Like, I'm not that good at that. Grecoy asks, are you planning on doing a tutorial soon? Any kind would be fine. Uh, I never really considered it, to be honest. I could definitely do a tutorial about my own personal process when it comes to putting videos together. So I could put it up on my Patreon idea page and see what the folks think about it over there. Now here's a question from Naughty Ranko. Celestia, Cadence, and Queen Chrysalis suddenly show up at your door ready to grant you one wish each. What do you ask of each one? Okay. Well, first of all, I'm gonna need Chrysalis to hook me up with a portal to and from Equestria so I can come and go as I please. I'm gonna need Celestia to hook a brother up with a house so I can stay, preferably in Canterlot. And Cadence, if it's not too much trouble, she could cook up a love spell for Luna so I could put a ring on it, perhaps. Chronos Fiery asks, what powers would you want to get aside from shapeshifting? It would most likely be hypnotism and invisibility. Sombra the Great and Glorious asks, can you impersonate other changelings? Or are you all the same, or different hives or something? Yeah, I can pretty much impersonate anybody. Then again, anyone can impersonate me. All they gotta do is throw on an orange sweatshirt and an orange hat. Reagan L. Smith asks, did you think that there was going to be a Cadence Micro based on the covers for Celestia and Luna's micros? I didn't really put much thought into it, especially considering that my favorite covers for those issues were the alternate ones, so I didn't really pay much attention to that. So, yeah. Now, I wanted to save the best question for last. Like, this one, I think was just the best question I have ever gotten, and it deserves the Question of the Day award. I'm just gonna put it right here so you guys can read it because I am unworthy. I am not fit to read this glorious comment. You, sir, you win the Comment of the Day award. In all seriousness, though, I really want to thank all of you, all 1,014 of you, for helping me reach this milestone. When I first started, I didn't really imagine getting to this point. The amount of support that I get from you guys, the amount of praise, and just overall goodwill that I get from you guys, it's otherworldly. It's just out of this world. And I appreciate every single good comment. I read every single comment that you guys leave, and you guys have no idea how much your support means to me. So, for the umpteenth time, I want to say thank you. I have reached 1,000 subscribers, and here's to 1,000, 2,000, 5 or 10,000 more. If you haven't checked out my brand new Patreon page, you can check the link in the description below. And until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.